And since you want to try to strengthen your argument by citing that you have these tafsirs from some companions or whatever the case may be, look what Ahmed van Defner says in his book on page 129. He says, sound reports must be distinguished from unsound ones, for many views have been falsely attributed to some companions and the followers of the companions, especially to Ibn Abbas and Mujahid. So there you go. Failure again.
Well, then you have to demonstrate that the tafsir I quoted and the explanation I used is one of those reports that are not from Ibn Abbas and Mujahid. He says that as if he's proving a point. See, you can't just say that there is a commentator out there that says that there are reports out there that are falsely attributed to Ibn Abbas and Mujahid. You have to prove it. And even if you are able to do so, then you still have to deal with Ibn Kathir and Al-Jalalain, and even Ibn Kathir quotes As-Sudi. So what do you do with those? Well, you throw them to the lions, of course, because they are of no use to you, right?
We see that according to chapter 5 verse 116, when Allah addresses the issue of Jesus being taken as a god and Mary being taken as a god, it is clearly stated that they are taken as gods to the exclusion of Allah, not including Allah. They are taken as gods without Allah being included. The verse is very clear. The Arabic is very clear. So therefore, you cannot come and tell me that 575 or 573, when it says say not 3, means that that is the case, because the Quran clearly states that that is not the case, that they are taken as gods excluding him, without him. So therefore, the error is on your part.
No, the error is on Allah's part. The Father is never excluded as God, since Allah is supposed to correspond with the Father in Christian theology. Show me one group, just one, that not only excluded the Father as God, but also took Mary and Yeshua as two gods. I dare you, Shadid.
The mistake is on your part. It is your fault that you don't know the extensiveness of Christian history to know that indeed there were many groups of Christians, both before the time of Muhammad, at the time of Muhammad, and way after the time of Muhammad, even into the Middle Ages in Europe, that continued to have devotion and worship of Mary and giving her divine powers. So that is very clear. So the mistake and the fault is yours for being ignorant about Christian history.
Okay, then if you are that knowledgeable about Christian history, then point me to one group before Muhammad, during Muhammad, and after Muhammad that took Mary and Yeshua as two gods, but excluded the Father. Come on, Shadid, put your money where your mouth is now.
Not that Allah, Jesus, and Mary are your gods, but that you say, no, Allah is not your God at all. Jesus is your God. Or you say, no, Allah is not my God. Mary is my God. And again, you keep using this argument about, well, hey, these scholars have said this, these scholars. Again, I repeat, no, show me the scholar that says his interpretation is based on what Muhammad had taught. Show me where they say that. Show me where any of them say that. If you can't say that, then it doesn't hold that much weight other than it being the opinion of that person. And so I will end this the same way our debate months ago ended, where I refuted you very clearly. Can you show me where Allah clearly states that the Trinity includes Mary? And can you clearly give us a tafsir that says Muhammad said that this is what the Trinity consists of? If not, then you have totally failed. Your argument is destroyed.
What is fascinating, Shadid, is that you yourself have no explanation from your Prophet or your God. Do you, Shadid? You can run to Surah 5 verse 116 all you want, but guess what? Your scholars use that very verse to prove that their readings are correct. Ibn Kathir, for example, uses 5 verse 116 to prove that his reading is correct when it adds Mary to the Trinity. Here's Ibn Kathir. Surely they have disbelieved who say Allah is the third of three. Mujahid and several others said that this verse, notice Mujahid and several others, said that this ayah was revealed about the Christians in particular. As-Sudi and others said that this ayah was revealed about taking Isa and his mother as gods besides Allah, thus making Allah the third in the Trinity. As-Sudi said, this is similar to Allah's statement towards the end of the surah. And what does he quote? And remember when Allah will say, O Isa, son of Maryam, did you say to men, worship me and my mother as two gods besides Allah? He will say, glory be to you. Surah 5 verse 116. Also, does Al-Zamakhshari interpret this as such? He says, otherwise, one must apply the subject thus. The gods are three, according to the evidence of the Quran. The Christians maintain that God, Christ, and Mary are three gods, and that Christ is the child of God by Mary, as God says in the Quran, O Jesus, son of Mary, didst thou say unto men, take me and my mother as gods apart from God? There you go. So, per your own methodology, I have given you Ibn Kathir and Al-Zamakhshari and others explaining the Quran by the Quran, and thus you have to accept their exegesis and concede to Allah's error. Or are you going to say that you understand the Arabic text of the Quran better than both Ibn Kathir and Al-Zamakhshari combined? Are you satisfied now, Shadid? The Quran has explained the Quran according to your scholars. Surah 5 116 is linked to Surah 5 verse 75, thus proving that according to the Quran, Mary is part of the Trinity and Allah's error is demonstrated. If I were you, I would call it quits while you're not that far behind. Bye now.